Hello and welcome. This is Evacuation to the Manor House. On today's show, wartime rations are hard to stomach. There's fresh trouble in the boys' camp.
I don't have any problem with the rest of the group, it's just you.
And it's back to school with Miss Young.
Did you wish to address me? In that case, sit down.
We've taken a brand new bunch of 21st century boys and girls back to the 1940s.
You go.
During the Second World War, city children were evacuated to the safety of the countryside, and a fortunate few got sent to big manor houses, like this one. Prado Hall is a house of two halves. Upstairs, Lord and Lady Olmsted live in the lap of luxury.
We're so fortunate living here.
While downstairs, for the staff, it's non-stop work and everyone knows their place.
Everything has to run smoothly, and there's strict rules in this house.
When the evacuees woke up to their first morning at the manor, they were in for a nasty shock.
Hot liver oil keeps you healthy. Open wide.
To be honest, I actually threw up in my mouth and swallowed it again.
With a never-ending list of 1940s chores.
That is disgusting.
They've struggled with a difficult downstairs regime.
Hang on a minute, Sam.
You've got to start pulling this with your weight, or we're going to have problems, Sam.
I didn't realise how hard being evacuated would be.
And found it even tougher getting on with each other.
I thought it was you two.
What? I'm not doing poo.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not. I think let's talk about it now. I'm not admit it, Arby. I'm not doing anything because these two are rude.
Their first attempt at behaving like lords and ladies was a total disaster.
The actual dining etiquette was atrocious. It's like pigs at the trough.
Wartime Britain has been like landing on a different planet for our modern boys and girls.
If this was real life, then I don't think I had lived there any much longer.
There may well have been a war on, but frankly, at country estates like Prado Hall, nothing got in the way of afternoon tea. Simply marvellous.
I've just been with her ladyship. She would like to invite the ladies only, sorry gentlemen, to a special afternoon tea with her.
This is a girl's only treat. Life's just not fair in the 40s.
Do we get to have a glimpse of the tea?
I don't know, I can't promise.
Me and the lads were really annoyed about not being allowed to go to afternoon tea because, in my opinion, I think we've been doing all the hard graft whilst the girls have just been, like, preparing food. I know having afternoon tea might be a little bit girly, but there's nothing wrong with boys having tea and scones. Really, I'm not happy about it at all.
I feel like impressing them having tea with the lady and the lads have to do chores. And I think it's just really exciting.
The girls might be joining Lady Olmsted for high tea, but they've got to make it first.
You know, her ladyship's favourite thing for afternoon tea is scones.
I love scones.
That's her absolute favourite thing, so I want you to help me make some scones. If you're going to make these scones for her ladyship, do you really think you should have your fingers in your mouth? No, you shouldn't. Scones. So, first of all, Marion, I want you to cut some butter off and put it in here.
In wartime Britain, you couldn't just pop down to the supermarket for some scones. Everything had to be made from scratch, and Jade's decided to add her own special ingredient.
I think we might have put a bit too much milk in there.
It's not the milk I'm worried about. There's an art to making scones. Adding too much of any ingredient is a recipe for disaster.
We don't need to roll scones. We need to be nice and light with them. Because otherwise they're going to be tough and chewy and horrible.
That's not what I'd call a light touch.
So we want our scones to be fluffy and delicious. It's to her ladyship. Oh, Jade and Mary Ellen.
It's bad enough the boys are missing out on tea, but worse, they've got to build a fire in the drawing room to keep the ladies nice and toasty. and they don't like it one bit.
It's so unfair we're not getting afternoon.
Yeah, the boys could have had afternoon, like, water or something instead of tea with his lordship.
But there's
instead of her
nothing wrong with
ladyship.
men drinking tea.
Yeah, I know, but it's more of ladies. Like,
On the bright
when you
side,
think
we
of a
get
tea
stuff on
party,
tea, they
you normally think of ladies.
Come on, lads. Tea or no tea? That fire's not going to start
You
itself.
can't just stand around like them.
Our modern boys are used to central heating, but building a fire takes a lot of skill.
Thank you.
I will. Nick and some.
What if you don't get instances?
It's different making a fire because I've never done anything like it before, so there are lots of things I've never done before that we're trying.
Off you go.
Get it underneath because fire rises up.
Sean might have the tough job of lighting the fire, but Nish thinks he knows best.
Sean, we mean actually
At the
underneath.
bottom, can you see
that one
that's
sticking out?
See that one sticking out?
That's it. Always start underneath.
Right there.
Be careful or you're going to burn to death.
In fact, Nish likes to take control with just about everything.
I'm very power hungry. I really, really love to be in charge. I don't particularly like having to take orders from somebody else. They give their views and I try to take them into account, but most of the time I guess they just do as I say. I don't like to do things wrong, and if someone is wrong, then I'll try to do everything I can to make them see it the right way. My ambition is to be in control of the world. Like a puppeteer, I want the whole world to be under my shadow. I don't know why I'm power hungry, I just am.
That's it.
Right, Nish, blow underneath. Blow. No, Nish, that's blowing a kiss.
Nish might want to rule the world, but first, he'll need a bit more puff.
No, you're not sucking in. Blow. Get some kindling. More kindling. More kindling. Come on. Boys, you see the way it's taking shape? Go on, throw it on.
Bravo, boys! Shame things aren't looking quite so hot for the girls.
Let's put
Oh,
them
my
back up, girls. Let me put them on the
goodness me.
table.
They're not big fluffy scones, are they?
They're not.
They look a bit flat.
They're not what I'd hoped for.
Jade and Mary have nothing to laugh about now. Not that the other girls have much to be proud of either.
Oh dear.
I kept stressing how important to have a light touch with scones. You don't handle them too much.
Looking at this lot, I'd say these girls are a bit heavy-handed.
And I'm not happy at all about these going up to her ladyship. I'm very disappointed, girls.
But in wartime Britain, wasting food was a definite no-no. Much to Cook's horror, these scones will have to do.
I have very high standards and nothing leaves my kitchen unless it's perfect. And, well, it's like something that Mr. Henderson would sole his shoes with. So sorry, Mr. Henderson.
Not happy at all.
No, sorry, Mr. Henderson.
Yep.
The fire might be a roaring success, but that doesn't mean the hard work's over for the boys. They're on clean-up duty. A fact that only power-mad Nish seems to be taking seriously.
You're not supposed to be running on the coal. Why not? You're not supposed to be anywhere near the coal, except for pouring the coal from the scuttle back into the pile of coal.
You're not supposed to be moaning.
Uh-oh, the boys are at it again. Only yesterday they fell out, when Sam refused to get his hands dirty.
Then I'm doing nothing. Well, Sam,
Can we please get started?
you're doing it.
We don't need Sam, though.
Yeah, no, we don't.
Sam, hang on a minute, young man. Oi.
A truce was called, but it doesn't look like it's going to last.
Have a bit of fun. I'm a perfectionist. Mr. Henderson's a perfectionist. And I'm not getting told off.
You're not going to be a kid. You're not going to be a kid all your life.
You can't be perfect, can you?
If everyone in
I
the
wanna see
world
if I could
was
eat
like
it.
Nish, what would it be like? It'd be
Boring, dull, ugly.
boring,
Not
ugly.
good singers though. Actually, he's not boring and he's not dull. Alright, he's a nice person. Calling someone dull and boring and ugly, that's a bit unkind. Especially when you've only got only each other. I think me and Nish have arguments because he doesn't want to get in trouble and I just want to have a bit of fun.
I don't like being called mean names. And especially since we've only known each other for a couple of days and that we have to sort of stick together and work together for the next couple of weeks.
Oh, good afternoon, Mrs. Dobinson.
It's 3 p.m. and time for afternoon tea. The girls might well look nervous. Their first formal dinner with the lady was a disgrace.
The evacuees' behaviour at lunch was not up to my standard. Especially the young ladies, which quite surprised me. They were like pigs at the trough.
But it's not just their manners that they've got to worry about today.
I would love one, thank you very much.
Are you sure about that, Lady Olstead?
Thank you very much. They haven't risen very much, have they? Normally, they're much higher.
How embarrassing. Someone change the subject, sharpish.
May I say you have a beautiful room?
Oh, thank you.
Good one, Mary. Those scones look more like rock cakes to me. But if they pass the taste test, they could win the girls some brownie points.
Your hair looks nice, Olivia.
Well, at least her ladyship complimented something.
Oh, I just... And then you just...
And a good dollop of jam and cream should take away any nasty flavours. Or maybe not.
I weren't asking going out to the ladies because she's just an old person, really. And she owns the house, but she owns this mansion, but I was just doing what I always do, being myself.
We were very polite. I think the only thing I did wrong was I was chewing wrong, like, and I was slurping the tea out, like that.
I was very surprised by their good manners. The only thing that was really disappointing, the scones were absolutely as hard as bullets.
With their chores done for the day, the boys are trying to bond over some good old-fashioned board games.
Are you homesick?
A bit, yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you start to feel too homesick, just tell me.
And it's the perfect opportunity for Nish to clear the air.
I just want to talk a little bit about the running we had and about the cold.
Lots of cards.
And I am very sorry.
It wasn't your fault, mate. We shouldn't have been playing about on the cold.
I know, it's just that I really wanted everything to be perfect. I didn't want Mr. Henderson upset, especially after he'd been so sort of pleased with us for making the cold bar.
Too moany. I'm joking.
I'm sorry, Sam. It's just
No,
little things like this.
I am joking, man.
Well, sometimes we don't find these jokes of yours funny.
I was like, come on.
I'm only moany because you're making me moany. I don't have any problems with the rest of the group. It's just you.
Okay, then leave.
You're not worth it. I have nothing more to say to you.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Yes, please. It's just Sam. It's Sam in general. It's just everything he does. And I want to be strong and brave, and I want to get through this. But now I've started missing home.
With no family for Nish to turn to, it's down to Mr. Henderson to pick up the pieces.
What's the matter, Nish?
I'm sorry, Mr. Henderson. It's just everything, and I don't know how much more I can take. Everything here seems to be going wrong lately. Everything was...
Can I just say something? It's not going wrong. You are making me so proud of you. You're the type of boy, every time the boys have stepped out of line, you've helped them to pull them back into line for me.
Thank you, Mr. Henderson.
Give me a hug. Good boy.
Our modern-day evacuees are no different to the real ones. And it's not just Nish who's finding it tough, living with total strangers.
Being evacuated is really hard because I didn't realise how much I'd miss my parents and that I'd be this sad.
Having to leave your parents was a bit, a bit emotional. And then actually coming and meeting the people and actually eating and doing what they would have done, it's like kind of freaked me out a little bit, but I'm enjoying it and at the same time.
Another day, and hopefully a chance for everyone to start afresh.
Come on, you lazy lot.
It's routine as usual at Prado Hall. Beds made,
I'm inspecting your beds now.
a generous helping of cod liver oil,
Is it better if you smile?
Yeah.
a jolly good scrub for the girls,
Why do you think? That's not scrubbing nails, is it? I said with some soap, young lady.
and for the boys, Brill cream.
Rubberting? Yeah, that's great.
These days, when it comes to lads' hairdos, anything goes. But back in wartime Britain, the look was very much short back and sides.
Boys, this is the way I'd like every one of you to have your hair. I don't want to see that come back up again.
Can I see a mirror, please?
Certainly.
You might regret that, Jack.
There you go.
What have you done to me? If I walked out to my town with hair like this, I tell you, it would be like a nightmare.
British fleet. Amen.
With everyone spick and span, it's time for a nice, eggy breakfast.
Excuse me, where are your manners?
At Prado Hall, good manners are everything. Something Sam has yet to grasp.
I'm appalled. No gentleman would ever dream of doing that. Go outside!
He's only been here 3 days, but Sam's antics at the dinner table have already got him in hot water.
What are you doing? You're not using your fingers to edge cabbage with, are you? Young man, it's obvious to me you have got a lot of learning to do in regards to dining.
And Mrs. Dobinson won't stand for any more nonsense.
Do you think that that sort of behaviour is acceptable? Do you think it's acceptable any time?
All I did was burp.
You never burp.
Then what else?
It's extremely bad manners. Apart from the fact that it is absolutely disgusting.
Well, I covered my mouth and said pardon. What else do you want me to do?
Steady on there, Sam.
Right, out.
He's in big trouble now. Mr. Henderson is determined Sam acquires some wartime discipline.
All the way to the top. Down.
I was absolutely appalled at his behaviour at breakfast. I don't think I've ever heard a child do that at the dining table before. Occasionally there's a little breaking of wind, very genteelly, but heaven's sake, this was like a thunderbolt coming out. I'm speechless, absolutely speechless.
Sam's already had extra washing up duties as a punishment. Let's see if scrubbing 3 flights of stairs does the trick.
I hope he's had a good time to think about this, and hopefully his attitude will change. If not, we can get him to the stairs again or we'll get some other job to do.
Sam really is going to have to book his ideas up. And he will, if he has any sense, because it's time for school, and Miss Young is on her way. The evacuees have already had a glimpse of how strict she can be on their journey to Prado Hall.
Line against the wall, girls first. Do as you are told. Face forward. Begin.
During the war, makeshift classrooms could be set up anywhere. Ah, Miss Young, how are you doing? What do you think, eh? Plenty of fresh air and great views.
Don't be so silly, Baker. In the corner.
Great. This is going to be a long walk. Luckily for our evacuees, the Lord and Lady have provided an indoor classroom and some smart school uniforms.
It looks like a curtain.
I think the uniform's audible.
What they're wearing is the least of the boys' worries.
I'm just really scared.
Well, I'm not looking forward to meeting Miss Young again. I'm just hoping that she's in a good mood today.
But one evacuee is feeling surprisingly brave.
She's not that bad, actually. She's worse with the lads. But she's not that bad with us, so I'm not really bothered.
And we will lead in girls first.
On the curriculum today is one of Miss Young's favourite subjects, geography. Let's just hope for their sakes the evacuees are as keen.
Stand to one side. Good afternoon, class.
Good afternoon, Miss Young.
Sit down. Everyone is to fold their arms. Elbows off the table. I wonder if you know the least thing about our island and the race of people on it. When I say you may, open the book to the centre page and draw a map of the country we are in, of which we are so proud.
Sounds easy enough.
I can't draw.
Stand up. Did you wish to address me? Did you wish to say something to me? No. In that case, sit down.
Oh dear. Not a good start for Jade.
Open your books, everyone. Begin.
During the war, national pride was celebrated more than ever. School children were expected to know exactly why Britain was great.
Let us be proud of it. Let us draw it correctly.
But it seems one evacuee needs a bit of help.
Be very firm.
A quick glance should do the trick. Or perhaps not.
Given you quite long enough. Williams, come to the board. Bring your book. This is what it should look like, Williams. Hold your book beside it and show everyone. If I'd asked
Oh dear. It's not exactly what Miss Young had in mind. Let's see if Olivia Barry can do any better.
Are you pleased with that, Barry?
Yes.
I should think not. Hitchmuff, come to the board. Hold it by the side, up higher. I'm somewhat devoid of comment.
I wouldn't like to rely on any of this lot for directions.
Sit down.
Only one evacuee gets anywhere close.
Hickey, I saw your book. The map looked very elegant, very neat.
Thank you, Miss Young.
Nish has nailed it. And fortunately for the rest, Miss Young has some handy cutouts.
Now we should be ready to conclude. Smith, do as you're told immediately. Stand.
They've made it through their first lesson, but 1940s school standards have been a big shock.
I think she does talk to you a bit strict for like a child, and I think it's a bit too formal, to be honest. I think she should be a little more lenient with us.
At the start of the lesson, when Miss Young came in, I was shaking.
Your eyes are like insect eyes. They like stare at you like for a long time, and it's just really like freaky. You're just like, oh, you get freaked out.
And even Jade's changed her tune.
I think she was being audible because she was just, instead of like talking like a normal teacher would do, she's shouting like that, and a vein would pop out of her neck.
Pay attention!
Take a seat, everyone.
It's 12 o'clock, which means lunchtime at Prado Hall. So far, the servants' food hasn't been a hit with our evacuees, but one of the perks of living with posh people is leftovers.
Well, I'm very excited about lunch today. We've got steak and kidney pie. This is something that's served upstairs and they're getting to eat it in the downstairs dining hall, so that's a real treat for them.
So what the Lord and Lady couldn't manage one day, the evacuees get the next.
Mr Henderson.
Listen, quiet. What do we have for lunch, cook?
Very exciting today, Mr Henderson. We have the steak and kidney pie.
During the war, nothing went to waste. And unfortunately, that includes the veg.
Could it get any better? We've got leftover sprouts as well.
Oh, beautiful.
Come on, 2 sprouts for everybody.
Come on, eating your greens keeps you healthy.
You must try and eat some sprouts.
Have a
Just
rest.
take 2 sprouts. Stop fussing about it. Just take 2. Gracious
At least
me.
Jade can enjoy the meat pie. Sam's a vegetarian, but that doesn't mean he likes Brussels sprouts.
There we are, thank you. Now you're just going to try one of these, please, young man. I suggest that you eat that sprout. If you don't like the taste, it's going to taste a lot worse if you eat it just on its own as sprout.
Go on, lad.
Excuse me, everyone.
Get it down, yeah.
See her ladyship, I forgot. I'll be back in a minute.
That's it.
Go on then.
Nearly there. Oh, oh no.
No, I thought you meant that.
Sam hasn't got the stomach for sprouts. Fortunately, the other evacuees are on hand to help clear up.
Well, you've got to clean up the sick and then you've got to clean it up.
At least they've got their gas masks.
Well, plates. Rachel, plates.
Oh, it looks like
Plates.
mustard. I had my gas mask on because I really don't like sick, and I sort of feel a bit sick when I get seasick.
But poor Nish isn't just feeling sick.
It's been a bad lunchtime, but for the sickness.
I was just like frozen position, and then I had to stand up and walk away, and I was like, oh, I can't look at it, that's disgusting. I think it was sprouts that made him sick. That's where it'll put me off more after sprouts now.
I want you to put your Wellingtons on and put your shoes neatly under the bench, please. Quick
There's
as you
no
can.
rest for the wicked. After vanishing the vom, the chores continue.
Evacuees were encouraged to join in with all of the work. And on an 800-acre estate like this one, there's plenty to do outside as well.
Mr. Goodall, the gamekeeper, is in charge of looking after all the grounds and animals.
It's a lot of muff. It's got to come out.
With chickens to clean out, geese to feed,
What's that? Food.
and vegetables to dig. The children are discovering for themselves what it takes to grow your own.
This is for one
It's a
type.
hoe. It takes out vegetables.
For most of these city children, this is their first experience of farming.
I've never taken eggs for a chicken before.
And Jade and Mary are ready to grasp it with both hands. Or at least they're trying to. But rounding up geese is a tricky task.
Thank you.
It started hissing at me.
It's taken.
Having tried but failed to catch the big birds, Jade and Mary set their sights on something smaller.
Oh, God! Oh, my God! That's the first time I've touched a chicken.
But the evacuees on digging duty are throwing in the towel after just half an hour.
Really hard.
I just can't do it anymore. My knees are hurting. My back is aching.
Our modern boys and girls just can't take the 1940s pace.
That's a big one. That's a big one.
All except one boy. Scott is on a potato mission.
Oh, there's 2 more, and 4 more, and 5 more.
Scott's left hand hasn't developed properly, but it's never held him back.
I'm Scott Dunstan. I'm 11 and I'm from Falmouth in Cornwall. I've done quad biking, go-karting. I'm a black belt in taekwondo. Sea Scouts, football, hockey, cricket, baseball, basketball.
Yes, a goal.
I don't really think it's my hand as a disability, and it doesn't affect me much in doing things that other people do. When people first see my hand, I like them to think they can ask me about it, and I'll just say that I was born like it, and then just leave it at that. Most people like it and they think it's really cool. No, it doesn't stop me from doing anything.
How much have you done?
We've done all of it.
All of it?
We've done like up there, down there, and up there.
Scott's steaming ahead, and his enthusiasm is having an effect on everyone.
That's it. Well done. Well done. Now, big push now.
Sam and Nish have been given the dirty job of muck spreading.
Should I tell you a trick he told me?
Go on there.
What you do is you put it in, you turn it round.
Amazingly, they seem to have buried the hatchet. It must be all that fresh air.
I'm really glad Sam showed me this tip because it's hard enough for me as it is, and I don't think I would have been able to do it otherwise.
Me and Nish are friends because everyone has their ups and downs in life.
Well, it's good to know there's nothing like a bit of stinky manure to sort out your differences. Next time the evacuees work up a sweat.
PE lesson at 7 a.m.
Touch those toes. If I can do it, you can do it.
La la la. La, la.
Miss Young needs a hearing test.
I was delighted with their tunefulness.
And the girls take lady lessons.
I feel like I'm dead posh. Oh, I'm so fabulous.
Good news.
Leonardo is on his way.
He's an artist's apprentice, and he's an inventor.
I've never seen anything like it.
Is it ready yet?
Yes, maestro.
Woo! Here we go. Let's go.
Intriguing. You have my full attention.
Could be dangerous.
You won't live long enough to find out.
This is Florence.
Anything is possible.
Leonardo, the boy who changed the future. Mondays at 5:15 on the CBBC channel. And catch up on CBBC iPlayer.